The most important month of the year, Pride Month, is upon us. Now let's check out the NFL's Pride commercial. Football is gay, thank you NFL. But also, many corporations are falling off Pride Month, leaving many people wondering, is Pride Month actually on life support? Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we call out lies, hypocrisy, corruption, and help spread the light of truth and freedom, because truth conquers. Now, what's irrefutably true is under the Biden administration, Pride Month was just stronger in spreading, kind of like a pandemic throughout. It was just everywhere. And this year, there's a stark contrast. There's noticeably less, call it pizzazz, even less fabulousness, less ferociousness about Pride Month. Less corporations are just doing the virtue signaling. Now, plenty are still on board. We'll take a look at some of the Pride Month highlights so far, including the whole NFL commercial. It's one for the history books. But also, we'll observe some normally woke corporations who this year are saying, like, yeah, we're not gay anymore.
I'm not gay no more.
But nonetheless, as you can see, Pride Month is upon us. And no matter how many times we look at the words Pride Month, we'll never forget it says demon right in the middle. And that's probably just a huge coincidence. Let's not think too much into that so far. But let's take a look at how Pride is going around the country, starting with Philadelphia. The weather in Philadelphia, it looks super gay with a chance of trans. These are the Rocky Steps, by the way. Very disproportioned shaped flags. But there we go. And we have this Pride Parade in action, complete with kids. Not just kids, they are Boy Scouts, ladies and gentlemen. These Boy Scouts, same Boy Scouts of America that just went through a massive scandal where it was discovered there were like a bunch of adult leaders doing minor attracted people things to kids. So shout out to the Boy Scouts of America that say, yeah, that huge scandal that we were, that we did, we got to correct the optics on this. So let's have the Boy Scouts march in a parade that's all about sexuality. That's how we win back favor and public trust. So this Pride Parade was lucky enough to do that. Now there's a fairy tale. Goes, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the gayest of them all? You are, NFL. So the NFL, which by last count had exactly one player who was openly gay, which makes their gay player population less than 0.1%. It might be 0.001%. So you'd think the NFL, they should sexualize during Pride Month, right? The NFL doesn't care. It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, gay, straight, something else. When we think of the NFL, we think sexual activity, right? So the NFL says, Pride Month, here we come. We made a special commercial. Here it is. Football is gay. Straight from the mouth of the NFL itself. Football is lesbian, football is transgender, football is everything. No, it's literally nothing but football. NFL, by the way, if you're a Pride fan, I just want to highlight the production value of the NFL. This commercial, which comprised of a little bit of really crappy music in the background, just like an obnoxious drum, and then text on screen. I could make this commercial for $5. And I would be making basically a $4.99 profit. So the NFL, you deserve credit for really supporting Pride Month. You're a multi-billion-dollar organization, and you put less than $5 of production value into this commercial. It was bold, and dare I say, it was gay. It was lesbian. It was bisexual. It was transgender. This is what the NFL wants you to think football is. And I'm sure this was great for business for the NFL. I mean, you think about the average guy you know who watches football on Sundays. It's probably like, damn right, it's about time. I am all those things too. I am the audience of this company. That makes sense. Now, my favorite Pride virtue signal that I've seen this year comes from Royal Dutch Airlines. It doesn't matter who you click with. Happy Pride, Amsterdam, which is so cool. They did is an airline. So get this. In the picture, you see these airplane seat belts. How cool is this? Rainbow colors, all of them, which is cool. But you have the two like insert end, the part you insert the thing into. So presumably the female ends of the seatbelt. So that's representing lesbian. That's so clever. And then the insert part, two of them, that's representing gay. And then according to Royal Dutch Airlines, if you're one of those weirdo heterosexuals, they cater to you as well. Like, look, you got the male end and the female end. No matter who you click with, happy Pride. Royal Dutch Airlines. This is so clever. And by the way, this bottom seatbelt is the only one that works. The others put your life in jeopardy. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, do you know if you're getting enough magnesium? Because 4 out of 5 Americans are not. And that's a big problem because magnesium is involved in over 600 biochemical reactions in the body. And today I want to talk to you about the most common signs to look for that could indicate that you're magnesium deficient. And listen carefully, and that's in order, because at the end there will be a special offer that might be exactly what you need. Here we go. Are you irritable or anxious? Do you struggle with insomnia? Do you experience muscle cramps or twitching? Do you have high blood pressure? Are you sometimes constipated? Now, there's dozens of signs of magnesium deficiency. These are just a few of the common ones. Now, here's what you don't know. Taking just any magnesium supplement won't solve your problem. Most of these supplements have the cheapest kinds of magnesium in them that your body can't even absorb. That's why I exclusively recommend Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. It's the only full spectrum magnesium supplement with all 7 forms of magnesium that your body needs, can absorb, and use. It's been a part of my nightly routine for over 5 years now because it works. All Bioptimizer supplements are best in class, and if for some reason you feel differently, you can get a full refund, no questions asked. For an exclusive offer, go to bioptimizers.com/JPReacts and use code JPReacts10 to save 10% at checkout. And if you subscribe, not only will you get amazing discounts and free gifts, you'll also ensure that your monthly supply is guaranteed. That's bioptimizers.com/JPReacts. Now back to the video. But for goodness sakes, from airlines, we can do better at not just sexualizing, but pride sexualizing flight. Here's Air Canada. Royal Dutch Airlines are putting you to shame here. Air Canada flew its first ever all 2S LGBTQIA plus flight in honor of Pride Month. That's what I want on a flight I'm on. I mean, 2S, someone flying the plane that thinks they're two spirits? Yes. LGBTQIA plus. This isn't just good old fashioned LGBTQ. It's Air Canada, people. IA plus. Isn't that cool? Like, who do you want flying your airplanes? Give me a pilot? Absolutely not. Give me LGBTQIA plus 2-spirit people in the cockpit. Do they need to know how to fly a plane? Quit being a bigot. Put someone who's super trans in the cockpit. They like cockpits. So no word yet on how that flight went, but I know if they can do anything remotely as good as Delta Airlines, which made headlines because they did their first all-female flight crew flight, and it landed upside down in Canada. Worked out super good for them. So that's what happens when you prioritize what should be prioritized. Not pilots, not even good pilots, but just diversity, horrendously diverse people flying planes. Now, Sesame Street gets on board. They have a man who I believe is trans, the guy from Queer Eye from the Straight Guy, rocking it with the Muppets, dressed like a devil, wearing women's clothes. And that has a lot of parents saying, we trust you even more. Sesame Street, you are doing it. Happy Pride Month to you. Stay away from my kids. But typically one of the wokest of them all, Target, is changing their tune. And I think this might be a sign that Pride Month is on life support. So Target is typically, hey, we got Pride Month, everybody. This is it. let's celebrate. This is the birth of, well, who knows, but it's Pride Month. So in all of our stores, we have this special Pride collection. Rainbow everything. Looks good, doesn't it? And of course, Target, they were the ones selling the Tuck It bathing suits, women's bathing suits built for men. So you have a special area to tuck your private parts so you look like even less of a man while you're wearing women's clothing. We love it, Target. And if you remember correctly, shortly after the Bud Light boycott, and boy, do I say it was a boycott. It was not a woman-cott, Dylan Mulvaney. But shortly after the Bud Light boycott, there was a Target boycott. Seems like Target has felt the boycott because Target is no longer offering their Pride collection in all their stores. Now in its place, they have a patriotic collection. Weird. Has Target woke up and they're all of a sudden patriotic? Absolutely not. They're soulless. They never stood for anything. They used to have Pride because they thought that would be good for their bottom line. They never cared about the Pride people. And there's a patriotic collection. Do they care about true loving Americans? Absolutely not. They just think this is what their bottom line is going to be built the best by. And in a few years, maybe they switch back to the Pride collection because they think that will bolster their bottom line. But I assure you, whether you're a Pride-loving American or a patriot-loving American, Target does not care about you. However, it is a sign of the times seeing a corporation who's normally the wokest of them all realizing, well, this Pride stuff doesn't work for us. I did happen to contact a high-level Target executive because I wanted to get his comment on, hey, you abandoned the Pride collection. Why'd you do that? Here's what he had to say.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
And that explains everything. And of course, Chick-fil-A, they've never been Pride-oriented. And in fact, they're so Bible-based, they're not even open on Sundays. But Chick-fil-A, I don't know if Chick-fil-A posted this or someone else did, but nonetheless, our pickles don't touch, just like God intended. Chick-fil-A. Pickles would be analogous to the, well, you know. So is Pride Month on life support? Well, here is a gay man who believes it should be. This is John James on Twitter. As a gay man, I don't need an entire month of narcissism to celebrate my sexuality. My gay friends feel the same. The only people wanting Pride Month are militant male trans activists who want access to lesbian and women's spaces. It's about time corporates listen to us. Take that from a gay man. Now, if you want to hear my true thoughts on Pride Month and what it's really about, check out the latest comedy video I released called If Pride Month Was for Straight People. I'll link that right around here. It speaks to the minds of a lot of people, and it's really what I have to say about it. And for now, this is how Pride Month is going. It appears to be on life support. I just imagine another 2-3 years, we won't really be seeing too many rainbows in the month of June. I think the weather patterns are changing. But let me know what you think is happening to Pride Month in the comment section below. I'll look forward to hearing your thoughts, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, stay free.